Good afternoon, dear students. Welcome back to English session. Today, in English session, we are going to learn a poem, a very heart-touching poem, right? And the title of the poem is "Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S." It is by Nissim Ezekiel. So, Nissim Ezekiel is an Indian poet, right? First, let me tell about the poet, then we'll discuss about the poem in detail. Nissim Ezekiel is one of the India's foremost poets writing in English, who was born on 16th of December 1924 in Mumbai. This poet belonged to Mumbai, right? He was educated in Mumbai and even in London, right? His first poetry collection was Fortune Press. He joined the Illustrated Weekly of India in 1953, weekly magazine you can say, and was there for 2 years. He worked there for the magazine Illustrated Weekly for 2 years. He studied in London. He produced several volumes of verse and plays. Verse means poems, right? Plays, and was an art critic. Critic means one who writes, right, about a particular topic, taking pros and cons, we can say. Ezekiel died in the year 2004 at the age of 79. So he died just 16 years before. Right? This poem is taken from his book Collected Poems, which was written in 1952 to 1988, right? Collected poems, right? So friends, before going to the poem, I would like to read out the warm-up activity, and I would like to ask you some questions. Assume that one of your teachers is retiring from school. Prepare a send-off speech in praise of her achievements in school, her contribution to education, her bonding with students, etc. Exchange the speech with your friends. Children, many times you write speeches on different occasions. Imagine one of your teachers is getting retired. Right? What do you mean by retirement? Hope everyone knows that there is a time when teacher is getting retired from his services, generally at the age of 58. But in private schools, the teachers keep changing. But generally, where the teacher works till 58 and then teacher officially retires from the school, there is a function organized by the school to commemorate his dedication towards the school, to wish him goodbye for his future life, and to appreciate his works after all. So I hope you have observed, you have attended the send-off party, send-off function for the teachers, right? And what do you speak in the send-off party? Everyone speaks about the good deeds of that person. I'm not talking about the teacher, but if you take any company, a corporate company or anywhere, they speak about the achievements of that person. They speak about only good things, because see, as a person, there are two sides, right? Everybody has faults, right? Everybody has follies, huh? Vice and virtues are there, but nobody speaks about the bad qualities of that person. Since it is a send-off day, we always speak good things about the person. But one question I would like to ask you: when you are attending a send-off of a strange person that you don't know about, will you come to know about the nature of the person? Can you judge the person perfectly after listening to the speeches of some people? So I will say that it is quite impossible, because in send-off, everybody will be speaking of only the good things about that person. So his mistakes, his faults will be obviously hidden. Nobody will mention them in the speech, right? So in the present poem written by Nissim Ezekiel, I'll tell you one more thing, that here Indian words are used more. And you can take it as this poem is written by a school-going boy who is not good at English. It doesn't mean that poet is not good at English. isn't it? The poet is extremely good at English, is a very famous poet, but the poem is written, right, from a third, it's written from a first person actually, but the poet is not the narrator. The narrator is different, right? A school going boy who does not know proper English, and probably this is a fun for the people who don't speak English properly. I hope class ninth students speak English quite fluently. I hope so, right? So if a person is not able to speak English, he or she writes in his or her own way. But after all, what is the purpose of language? To convey the message. And after reading the poem, you will get a message that the teacher's name is Pushpa T.S. Miss Pushpa T.S. And she is going to retire, and there is a goodbye party for her, and this poem is written on the occasion of that function, send off function, and this poem is a speech given by one of her favorite students or one of her fans, you can say. Because if I ask you who is your favorite teacher, obviously you will tell one or the other person's name, one or the other teacher's name. And why that person is favorite to you? Because that person may have made some everlasting impression on your mind, or you may want to copy some of the habits of the person, or you may like some personality traits in that person, isn't it? So that particular person becomes a favorite teacher for you, isn't it? So, friends, first of all, I have made two things clear for you. One thing is a retirement program is there, retirement function is there. I mean, send off party is there, right? When 10th standard students pass out, there is also a send off party in the school. You go to the colleges, also, same things are there. When the person is leaving that campus permanently, so there is a send off. The person is again coming after 2 years. Can you give a send off to that person? No, not at all. There is no question. So here Miss Pushpa's characteristics, whenever I am telling you, whenever I am discussing about each stanza, I may explain some characteristics of Pushpa. So this is a homework for you. You write down each of her characteristic and send the homework. It is my humble request to all the students and parents. I am not able to find more than one or two homeworks a day when your strength is 50. So the ratio is, just imagine, it's very horrible for me, because we all teachers are taking a lot of efforts to type the homework, to search the homework, to give it to you. I don't know why you are not sending the homeworks to the subject teachers, isn't it? So it's my humble request to all the students and parents, do complete your daily homework and send it on the same day to your concerned teachers. Right? Let me see how many are obedient students. And okay, hope everyone will do from today. So retirement and send-off function. Send-off function is full of emotions, my dear friends. Generally, when I completed my 10th, and there was a send-off, I distinctly remember how bitterly I wept. I burst out literally, because it was a very sad day of my life. Because the school where I studied for more than 6 years, because it was high school. I studied first to fourth in primary, ZP school primary, and then I went to high school. So I studied there for 5 6 years, and it's really a long time, and it was a very difficult for me on that day, feeling to be missing something, like a bird who is leaving the nest permanently. That was somehow the condition of mine, and maybe of all. But nowadays the scenario is changed. I could see the students are enjoying on send off. They have the parties, they have the cold drinks, right? They have the cakes and all. Just it has remained a fun making. I'm not. It is not applicable for all. Maybe some students are very serious, right? I'm not saying that they should weep, they should cry, then only it would be a send off. But at least they should sense that they are leaving the campus permanently, isn't it? So because departure is always very difficult, my dear friends. Departure means departing from the school, departing from the Shakespeare already told that we are actors, this world is a stage and we are just actors. One or the other day we are going to depart, isn't it? So this poem is also a very touchy poem. You read it and you also write one essay about your teacher that you missed, right? That has retired or may not be retired but left the school, and you really felt the what I can say, you really missed that teacher, missed his or her place in your life. So write one essay on that and write all the characteristics of Miss Pushpa as a teacher, right? So let me read the poem for you aloud. This is a speech actually given by a student in the send off function. Friends, our dear sister is departing for foreign in 2-3 days, and we are meeting today to wish her bon voyage, or you can say bon voyage, both are correct. You're all knowing, friends, what sweetness is in Miss Pushpa. I don't mean only external sweetness, but internal sweetness. Miss Pushpa is smiling and smiling, even for no reason, but simply because she's feeling. Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Her father was renowned advocate in Balsar of Surat. I'm not remembering now which place. Next stanza. Surat. Ah, yes. Once only I stayed in Surat with family members of my uncle's very old friend. His wife was cooking nicely. That was long time ago. Coming back to Miss Pushpa, she's most popular lady with men also and ladies also. Whenever I asked her to do anything, she was saying, just now only I will do it. That is showing good spirit. I am always appreciating the good spirit. Pushpa Miss is never saying no. Whatever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes. And today she is going to improve her prospect, and we are wishing her bon voyage. Now I ask other speakers to speak, and afterwards Miss Pushpa will do summing up. Friends, this poem is typical Indian English that you too have observed. If you introspect yourself, you also come to know that you too speak the way the boy has spoken in the speech. So please, friends, you must listen carefully. Then if you are a good listener, definitely you are going to be a good speaker, right? So listen carefully what I am speaking daily. Focus more on your grammar, focus more on your pronunciation, because that is what making you a good speaker, right? So where I am taking the pauses, so learn when and where to take a pause and how to speak. If you master these skills, you will become a good speaker. Let's turn to the point. The first word, friends, indicates when you are addressing to the gathering, when you are addressing to a mob, you refer, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege standing before you. You may use this type of expressions, right? So here the boy who is a typical Indian boy who is not good at English, right? Good at English, not good in English, right? Good at English. So, friends, our dear sister, who is the sister? Sister were used for the teacher. She must be a very young lady, so maybe a elder sister for the students, right? Friends, one of my colleague, Mr. Zadav, who used to tell me that when he was working in one of the schools, the students used to call him brother, and for the lady teachers, the students used to call sister. So that these were the common practices in some of the schools, right? So here I remembered that one of my colleagues. Okay, so here the boy is calling his teacher as sister, and he is addressing to his friends. Our dear sister is departing for foreign. Departing means, my dear friends, leaving permanently, right? Write down all the new words. Depart, I told you. When the soul departs from our body, the body becomes meaningless. Departing is leaving permanently. And foreign, you know that word. She is going to abroad, maybe to USA, Canada, Australia, Africa, wherever. Okay, we don't know that. Or the students may not know that. But they have come to know that the teacher is going to foreign for a good career. Children, why do people change the jobs? Why do people change the companies or schools or maybe any firms? Because if they have some promising future, if they have some good career opportunities, definitely they will leave, right? So Miss Pushpa might have got a golden opportunity to serve in abroad, to earn better living there. So she had taken a decision to leave the kids, right? But there are teachers who sacrifice their careers for the sake of kids, for the sake of children, and they stay there permanently till retirement. Right? Government teachers ultimately have to retire, sometimes in only one school, right? If they are not transferred. So, dear students, my dear friends, my fellow students, our dear sister is departing for foreign. Where is she departing for? She is going to foreign in 2-3 days. This is a way of how English is very poor, my dear friends. Try to understand whose English is poor. I am talking about the boy who is giving the speech, isn't it? So his English is not good. She is departing. He is using present continuous tense. That tells us that every time when he is using present continuous tense instead of future tense, how he should have told, a teacher will be departing for foreign. That would be the correct, right? But he's saying he is departing. He is departing. Is it correct? He is departing means now she is departing. I'm working. I'm teaching. I'm speaking. That is correct, right? I'm moving my hands. That is correct. So, is departing is not correct. So I'm not going to correct them just because there is one question in your exercise that the boy's English is very typical. So the sentences you will find out which are typical Indian sentences. I'll be telling you in between, and you can also mark one thing that the poet has used present continuous tense. That shows that it is very typical in Indian English. In 2-3 days, the lady teacher, Miss Pushpa, is going to depart from the school. She is going to resign, maybe going to leave the school. So we all have gathered here to bid her goodbye, to bid her a farewell. Right? This is a farewell function, and we are meeting today. So what should be the formal word? We have commemorated here. We have gathered here. We have, you can say, accumulated here, isn't it? To wish her bon voyage. So why are we here today? Today we are here to give her goodbye, right? To wish her good luck for her future, to appreciate her for the dedication, for the love, for the support, for the care she rendered for us, isn't it? This is called as gratitude. Children, what is gratitude? Gratitude means you are thanking someone for something that they have done for you. Children, those who don't thank for small, they will never thank for big. So one should always be grateful. Grateful. That's grateful, right? Not GREAT. That's not grateful. 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 So we are here to wish her bon voyage. What do you mean by bon voyage? Bon voyage means we are here to send her goodbye. We are here to say her, give her good luck for her future journey, isn't it? So her qualities will be expressed in the next stanza onwards. The boy who is giving, I'm sorry, the boy or a girl, whoever he or she may be, right? The student, I will use the word student, a common gender, neuter gender. The student is saying she is going to depart after in 2 or 3 days, and we are meeting today. We are gathered here to give her send off. You are all knowing what should be the correct. You all know because it's a fact. You all are knowing, friends, what sweetness is in Miss Pushpa. I don't mean only external sweetness, but internal sweetness. Children, these 4 lines, what they tell you about Miss Pushpa. I told you, you're recording her qualities. You're recording her characteristics in your notebook now. I hope you are having the pen and a book with you. You please write down all the characteristics as I read out. So what is the first characteristics? She is beautiful. Right? One more sentence I remember. The handsome is as the handsome does. Someone has rightly said. Always remember, you also. Children, in many times in our life, we are always judging the people by their external appearance. That's not good. Because there are people like Shakespeare, like Socrates, right? From Socrates from Greek, Shakespeare from England, London, we can say. They were looking very ugly, but children, they were very good at heart, right? There are people who may not be looking good, they may not be handsome, beautiful, but they are beautiful because their beauty depends on the thoughts they keep in their mind, not by the way they look, by the attire, or by their physical appearance. You cannot judge the people because it is not possible always to judge the book by its cover. So, talk to the people, understand them, right? Instead of judging them, understanding the people is better than judging the people. What someone has rightly said. So here, the handsome is as the handsome does. Let me explain to you what I told you just now. The handsome person is he or she who does handsome work. If your work is handsome, if your deeds are handsome, if your thoughts are handsome, you are handsome. Nevertheless, if you look ugly, right? So never judge the people by their physical appearance. Here Miss Pushpa is internally very good as well as externally very good. She is looking very beautiful, right? This is the first quality of her, but internally she is very, very, very sweet. Internally means she is caretaking, she is loving teacher, she is cheerful teacher, she is pleasant teacher. Sweetness indicates all these qualities. Huh? She is always wearing a smile on her face. She is always pleasant. She is always helpful. Right? Miss Pushpa is smiling and smiling even for no reason, but simply because she is feeling. Why Miss Pushpa is smiling? There are people who just smile for the reasons, but Miss Pushpa smiles for no reason. Right? Because she feels that if she if she smiles in front of the students also will smile. So it is rightly said, as is the king, so is the kingdom. As is the teacher, so are his students. Right? So if the teacher is wearing a smile on his face, if the teacher is very polite with the students will ultimately become polite. So here Miss Pushpa is such a smiling lady, and children, you know very well, right? What is the best ornament for a person, for a man and a woman? You don't need to be beautiful and handsome or fair or strong and I mean to say muscular or not always necessary, but you need to be always smiling because your smile is your best ornament, isn't it? And if you smile all the times, the people will smile. The world is a mirror, my dear friends. If you smile, it smiles back. If you frown, it frowns back. The sentences which I am quoting today, they are the sentences that I came across in my last 16 years teaching career. So these are the sentences what I'm quoting today, right? So hope we'll stop here. Next stanza will take in the next session. But before that, again let me elaborate this stanza. Miss Pushpa is smiling because she thinks that she must smile. She is not smiling for any reason. There are people who smile in front of you, but they are backbiting. They have some ill motto in their mind. Ill will is there in the mind of the person. So, children, when you are smiling to the person, your smile should be genuine. There should not be any conspiracy behind the smile. There should not be any kind of, you can say, ill will about that person, right? Try to be very true to the people in your emotions, in your feelings, in your expressions, in your thoughts, right? Ultimately, you are going to get back what you are sowing, right? So, Miss Pushpa's qualities, again, you are going to learn in the next part. So, for today, what you can do, you read the poem again, write it down. Why I insist on writing the poem? Because I believe that writing one time is equal to reading 10 times. So, write it down, read more about um, Nissim Ezekiel as a poet, and write about your teachers. I told you, write about one teacher whom you missed in your life, right? And what are his or her qualities, right? You mention. That's it. Let me take your leave. I wish you good luck. Bye. Good day, children.